Hi, this is Sui778 coming at you, and today on the channel we're going to do something a little bit different. This is basically a channel update and also a tour of my YouTube studio, well, if you could call it that, and also a 4K test. I'm shooting this from my phone, so first of all I apologize. Hopefully I won't make anybody seasick doing this, but I'm obviously not using a tripod today. Anyway, first with the announcements. I know it's been a couple of years since I've really done anything up until about a week and a half ago. And it's not because I've lost interest in doing these videos. I just have not had the time. So I do apologize for that. And I will be back at least in a limited capacity. So stay tuned for more videos because I do plan to be doing some more. Also, like I said, we got some new equipment. I'm not going to be using the cell phone for most videos. I might be using them for some because it does shoot in 4K, which is, you know, nice. I probably will be using this GoPro right here, and there's a bunch of parts there for a new video editing computer. Anyway, I will eventually be using this. I tried shooting it for this video, but when I do close-ups, it just doesn't really focus very well, so we're using the phone instead. And speaking of the 4K video, those of you that are viewing this in 4K, if you would please let me know how it looks, that would really help. You can either email me privately or you can comment on the channel. If it looks like crap, then it looks like crap. And the reason I'm asking is because I do not have a 4K monitor yet, but I'm just trying to get this out just so I can get a little bit more material out. And also a year or two ago I passed 1,000 viewers, and now I'm up above 1,200. So for those of you that have subscribed and given me support over the years that I've been doing my videos, thank you. I really do appreciate that. Anyway, let's go ahead and do a quick tour here, and we'll go from left to right. Okay, first up, well, let's get zoomed in first a little bit. There we go. Is my Rockseed RS310P DC power supply. This is programmable, has 6 memories, and this is what I use to do the 32 volt test, but I also use this to power a ton of things when I've got stuff that I'm testing, working on, whatever, mostly radios and such, but some other stuff as well. I also picked up a OWON 60 volt DC power supply that's also programmable, but also has a built-in 20K meter on it. There have been a few reviews out on it, but I figure since I have it, I'll probably run it through the ringer as well. Okay, next up we got this little Feeltech FY6600 arbitrary waveform generator. This is what I use to test the frequency reading abilities of all the multimeters that have ever been on this channel. I really like this unit. It goes up to 60 megahertz. I don't know if they make these anymore, but several companies stamp their logos on it, so you still might be able to find these. I got these for a very reasonable price. Of course, it was 3 years ago. I doubt it you get it for the price that I got it for, just because of all the inflation that's been going on recently. Anyway, next up is this Vevor SPS 1104, otherwise known as the OWON SPS 1104. This is a 4-channel 100 megahertz oscilloscope with a 1 gigasample per second sample rate. Does not have very much memory depth to it, so it would not be that useful for digital work. However, I got it for analog and RF work, and it'll be just fine for that. I'll probably do a review of this at some point as well. Next up here, we've got the RhoShui 4080 LCR meter. This can measure components in a couple of voltage settings and also several frequencies. I'll probably do a review on this at some point as well. Next up, of course, is my venerable UNI-T UT8804N 60,000 count digital multimeter. This thing has been rock solid, you know, ever since I picked it up, and it's still going strong. These are now available as the UT8804E. The only difference is just the model designation. Otherwise, it's the same exact meter. You're looking for a really good, reliable bench meter for not a whole lot of money. This is a very good choice. Okay, next up is this Elenco RS-440 capacitance substitution box. Now, I use this for testing the ability of multimeters to read smaller values of capacitors, as this has a range from 100 picofarads to 100 nanofarads. Next up is the Elenco RS-500 resistance substitution box. This is really handy for testing for resistance and also testing the rel feature, as this has onboard resistance of about ½ ohm when you don't have any switches flipped. So it's handy for that kind of test as well. Next up, of course, is my DMM Check Plus. This is a very good piece of kit. I really like this a lot. It has a 100 Hertz frequency standard. It has an AC and DC voltage standard, AC and DC current standard. It also has precision resistors, capacitors, and inductors. Not cheap, but well worth the money if you can get one of these, especially if you have several meters that you need to make sure are staying within spec. This is a very useful device for that. Next up is a newcomer, and this is a precision resistor reference plate. Now, this basically has 5 resistors and 6 capacitors on it. They're supposed to have 0.1% tolerance, as you can see there. I don't know whether it's really that good or not. I have played around with this a little bit, and it seems to be pretty reasonably rated with these markings. So this will probably make some appearances here and there on the channel as well. Next up, I have this 10 megahertz oscillator. Now, these are kind of hit and miss, but assuming that the power supply is adequately powering this this oscillator, it should work out pretty well. Some of these work very well, some of them not so much. You might need to do a little bit of work on them. The nice thing about these oscillators, though, is that the oscillators used in these are actually pulled from other machines. So these are older oscillators that have been used and broken in. And used oscillators have a tendency to be more stable than brand new ones. So this might make an appearance on the channel as well. Next up, we've got my AD584M-KH. This, of course, is a very good alternative to more expensive DC voltage reference standards. Unfortunately, these don't come rated anymore. You kind of have to do it on your own. But all the same, once you get an idea of what it's supposed to be reading, it's a pretty useful device. Next up, of course, is my homemade component test board. I've got some diodes, LEDs, resistors, and capacitors on this. And the reason I built this was basically for the sake of consistency, because I see lots of multimeter videos and people are just pulling things off, and there's my cat. I don't know if you heard her or not. But people just pull stuff off the shelf at random and test, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is, at least that I have, is there's no consistency there. So I do it this way. Use the same components for every video. Same goes for this one, which is a homemade inductor board made for the same purpose. This has not made an appearance on my channel yet, just simply because I haven't done an LCR meter review. So expect to see this. This will definitely be used when I do the LCR meter review. And last but not least, we got the Fnirsi SG-003A. I use this for the current test. This also outputs voltage relatively stable, but since I've got so many other voltage standards already, I just don't use it. But again, this is very handy in its own right for doing very low current test on multimeters. Anyway, so that's going to do it. That's there's the tour for you. And I know I got a bunch of other stuff sitting up here, but we'll get into that in another video at some point. But anyway, so thanks for watching the video, and thanks for your patience and your support, etc., etc., etc. And last but not least, thanks for watching the SUI 778 YouTube studio tour video.